Welcome in the student-athlete representatives from St. Mary's. From my left to right, we have junior forward Calvin Hermanson, junior center Jock Landale, and senior guard Joe Rayhan. And we'll open up to questions for our student-athletes.
Tim Burrell, the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Jock, with all the Australian players that you've had come through St. Mary's, how did you find out about the school?
I was on the under-19s team in China with Emmett and Dane. I think that was probably the first time I heard them was when they were recruiting Emmett. I'd kind of always known a little bit about St. Mary's just because it's pretty significant back home in terms of college basketball, and a lot of people want to come here. It's kind of the go-to spot for Australians. So Emmett was the first person I saw get recruited there, and then you hear about Maddie Delvedova and Patty Mills and stuff like that. So yeah, it's basically just through the other Australians who have come through St. Mary's that we hear about it most.
John Coon, Sports Exchange. You come into this tournament as a team with the #2 scoring defense in the country. What do you feel like has allowed you guys to be so successful in just shutting one opponent down after another this season?
I think most things we try and limit teams in transition. So a lot of teams that score big get a lot of transition buckets, and we try and make sure to get back on defense and stop transition. That's first of all, and then the other thing is do a good job on the boards, limit second chance opportunities, and also just kind of pay attention to scout and know player tendencies and really focus in on there.
Kareem Copeland, AP. Guys, what have you seen on tape from VCU and what stands out, and I guess what do you guys got to do to get through that first round?
They're good. They're really good. Defensively, they're really good. They get after you a little bit. Kind of mix it up. They'll full court press you man-to-man, 2-2-1. They'll pressure you man in the half court, or they'll play zone. So they got a bunch of different things they can throw at you. So a big thing for us offensively is going to be just taking care of the ball, move it, kind of do what we do, but a big emphasis of taking care of the ball, which it is every game, but against them especially, it's going to be important. And then for them offensively, so for us defensively, they attack the paint, and their guards are good. They get into the paint, and they're really good on the boards in terms of offensive rebounding. So you got to try to do a good job as for us guards to limit penetration so our bigs don't have to help too much. So when the shot goes up, they can box out their man because they're really good at going to get second, third shot opportunities. So if we can do a good job in that area, then we'll feel pretty good. But it's going to be tough. They got a lot of guys that can throw at you.
Vic Tafer from the Chronicle San Francisco. Joe, talk about Emmett and Air and just your chemistry together and how you guys have developed kind of a nice relationship in the backcourt.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool to be able to play 2 years with them and kind of just play a lot of minutes together. So at this point, we kind of know how each other's feeling, where we're going to be, where the pass is going to go. So it's kind of, you talk about it a little bit off the court in terms of our styles, and we'll talk about how we're trying to attack teams, what we think's best based on the film we watch and the personnel they have. But a lot of it's just kind of a feel on the court that you develop over time. And we both like to get our teammates involved, which I think helps, where you have two basically point guards playing on the court at the same time, and we're comfortable playing on and off the ball. So there's never been like a headbutting contest for who gets to bring the ball up the court or who's coming off this many pick and rolls as opposed to that many. And so it's been really nice and a pretty easy relationship, and it's been fun to be able to go through these 2 years with them for sure.
Kareem Copeland again, AP. Is it odd to have, just 4 losses, but 3 came against the same team? And also on top of that, does it give you a little bit of confidence considering that one team is, the #1 seed in the bracket or in this region?
It's a little odd. I think we all would say that we'd like to have gotten Gonzaga at least one of those times, but I think we do have confidence. We have confidence every time we step on the court, and this environment's no different. So we're excited to go out and compete against some different teams and see what we can do.
Tim Burrell, the Richmond Times-Dispatch again. either Joe or Calvin, are you surprised at 28-4 that you were a 7 seed?
You know, we don't really think about it. I know a lot of people talk about, oh, the criteria for the NCAA tournament is this and that, and people say it changes every year. And as players, you just kind of go out there, play who's on your schedule, and you try to win. And you kind of going in, we saw the projections for it because as a player, at least for me personally, I had no idea where you're going. I knew we were top 25 in the country, and going into the championship game against Gonzaga, I think we were like 19 or 20. So if you just do the simple math, you're like, okay, we're around a 5 seed if you're the 20th team in the country. So around there, and then people were projecting us as a 6, 7 for the most part. So we just kind of expected to be in that range, and we ended up with the 7. And yeah, as a player, you try not to focus on it too much. You kind of just enjoy the moment when your name gets called and you see your name pop up on the screen. You kind of just one of the happier moments you've felt as a player, and then you find out who you're playing, and then you enjoy the moment probably for the rest of Sunday, and then Monday you kind of focus in and try to figure out how you're going to beat your opponent. And for us, it's VCU. So we weren't too concerned about the seed, and weren't going to gripe about, oh, we wish we were a 6 or whatever. We're happy to get in, and we're excited for the challenge on Thursday.
This is for Jock. You mentioned how St. Mary's is the go-to place in Australia. How about March Madness? Is that a big deal over there, the tournament? People watch it and pay attention to the tournament?
Yeah, we basically get the same coverage you guys do. We had the 24-hour marathon on and all that kind of stuff, and it's a pretty big deal. I know back home, my family and stuff are talking about how there's a whole bunch of people having like watch parties and stuff like that. Yeah, so no, we get basketball is slowly becoming a bigger and bigger part of Australian sports culture, and I think it's like NCAA March Madness and NBA and stuff like that. It's all definitely thriving back there. So yeah, people get around it just as much as you guys do.
Yeah, Chuck Culpepper from the Washington Post. Jock, after all these years of this, about 16 now, how much of an expert is your head coach on cricket, rugby, wallabies, Aussie rules, Melbourne Cup, and
He has no idea about any of that stuff, I don't think. No, he tries to act like he's got the Australian culture down, but I don't think he does whatsoever.
Okay, any more questions for our student athletes? Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
And good luck tomorrow. Head coach Randy Bennett will be up here shortly at 4 o'clock.